Have you ever stared at a name on a phone screen and felt the world tilt off its axis? The name wasn't my wife's. It was Liam. It was a single, damning sentence. Still awake? That hotel room felt empty when you left. My wife Chloe was sleeping soundly beside me, her breathing even a picture of innocence. We were in our Chicago brownstone on W. Fullerton Avenue, the life we'd built over a decade feeling like a fortress. But in that moment, with the blue light of her phone painting a ghostly stripe across my face, I realized the walls were made of glass. I knew with a certainty that chilled me to the bone that unlocking that phone would detonate a bomb in the middle of my life. The question wasn't if I should do it, but if I could survive the fallout when I did. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from, what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. For weeks, I'd been living with a ghost, a subtle wrongness I couldn't name. Chloe, my brilliant, ambitious wife, had become distant. She'd started working late, her high-powered marketing job in the Loop suddenly demanding weekend retreats and late-night client dinners. When I'd tried to bring it up, she'd flash that dazzling smile, the one that always made me feel like the luckiest man in the world, and call me paranoid. "Babe, we're saving for the house in Lincoln Park, remember? I have to hustle." She'd kiss me, and the conversation would be over. But her kisses felt different, rehearsed. Her eyes, which used to hold my gaze, now seemed to look straight through me. I'd find receipts from expensive restaurants I'd never been to, tucked away in her coat pockets. When I asked, she'd laugh it off. "Client lunch, silly. You think I'm eating lobster thermidor by myself?" She was so good at it, so convincing, that I started to believe her. Started to think I was the one going crazy. The real break came from the most unexpected place. Chloe had two phones, a work phone and a personal one. She was meticulous about keeping them separate. One afternoon, a text meant for her burner phone, the one she used for her affair, accidentally came to her real number. It was from Liam's roommate, a guy I didn't even know existed. "Hey, Liam's a mess. Left his wallet at your guy's place again. Can you grab it? He needs his ID." My blood ran cold. I texted back from her phone, playing dumb. "My guy's place? What are you talking about?" The reply came instantly. "The apartment you use, the one in River North." She didn't have an apartment in River North. We lived together. My mind raced, connecting the dots, the late nights, the vague excuses, the receipts from places near that neighborhood. She wasn't just cheating. She had a whole other life, a secret stage where she performed a version of herself I wasn't allowed to see. That night, she came home humming a tune and told me she'd had a brutal day in meetings. I looked at her, this stranger wearing my wife's face, and felt nothing but a hollow, echoing void. The love was gone. In its place, something cold and hard began to form, which grew bolder, more manipulative. She started gaslighting me with a chilling expertise. "You've been so distant lately," she'd say, her voice dripping with fake concern as she got ready for another work dinner. "Is everything okay with you? She made me the problem?" My pain became my fault. Liam, the man from the text, was a ghost I started to piece together. He was a junior associate at a rival firm, younger than her, with a smug face I found on social media. They felt untouchable, wrapped in their bubble of arrogance and deceit. I saw them once, from across the street. They were leaving a hotel bar on Michigan Avenue, laughing. She leaned into him, her hand on his chest, in a way she hadn't touched me in years. I stood there, invisible in the downtown crowd, and felt a piece of my soul just break. I went home, sat in the dark of our perfect living room, and I wept. Not loud, but silent. Hot tears of humiliation and rage. That was the last time I cried. When the tears stopped, the man who was left was someone new, someone strategic, someone ruthless. My grief turned into fuel. I hired a private investigator, a grizzled ex-cop who operated out of a dusty office in the West Loop. I gave him the address in River North. Then 48 hours, he sent me a file that made my hands shake. Photos, dozens of them. Chloe and Liam entering the apartment building, holding hands. Kissing in the elevator. Pictures of them through the window, drinking wine, looking like a happy couple. He also uncovered the lease. It was in her name, paid for from a secret bank account she'd opened 6 months prior. I downloaded her bank statements, cross-referenced them with the restaurant receipts, and created a timeline of her lies. I contacted a divorce attorney, one of the sharks from a top firm on Wacker Drive. I didn't tell him the whole plan. I just said, I want to be prepared for the worst. He advised me on how to legally separate our assets. Chloe had always been the financially savvy one, but she'd made one crucial mistake. She'd gotten sloppy. She'd used our joint savings account to make the initial deposit on her secret apartment. That was my anchor. The trap was set. Her birthday was coming up, a lavish affair she'd been planning for months at a chic rooftop bar overlooking the Chicago skyline. A week before the party, I went to the apartment in River North. I didn't leave a note. I just installed 2 small, high-resolution cameras, one in the living room, one in the bedroom. I watched them toast with champagne, celebrating her. I recorded every second. The night of the party was electric. She was radiant in a silver dress, holding court, accepting praise for her success, our success. I played the part of the doting husband, smiling until my face ached. At 10 p.m., when the party was at its peak, I walked to the DJ booth and took the microphone. Chloe looked at me, a little confused, but smiling. She thought I was going to give a speech. "Thank you all for coming," I began, my voice steady. Chloe has always said she wants a life that's like a movie. So for her birthday, I wanted to give her just that. I nodded to the DJ. The massive screens behind him, which had been showing a slideshow of our happy memories, flickered to life. It was the feed from the apartment, silent, crystal clear. Chloe and Liam, the champagne toast, the kiss. The entire party went dead silent. I could hear someone gasp. I watched Chloe's face. Her smile froze, then shattered. The color drained from her skin, leaving a waxy, horrified mask. Her parents were staring, mouths agape. Her boss looked away in disgust. She looked at me, her eyes wide with pure, undiluted panic. She tried to speak, but only a choked sound came out. The fallout was absolute. The video, though silent, told the whole story. Her friends melted away from her side. Her parents couldn't even look at her. The next morning, my lawyer filed for divorce, submitting the lease agreement, the bank statements, and a full transcript of her lies. The secret apartment was a marital asset, and using joint funds to secure it was a breach of fiduciary duty. She was fired from her job for unethical conduct, as Liam's firm was a direct competitor. The social and professional humiliation was total. She was ruined. She lost her job, her friends, her family's respect, and a significant portion of our assets in the divorce settlement. I sold the brownstone and moved out of the city. I never saw her again. Sometimes late at night, I wonder what became of her. But the thought is fleeting, like a ghost passing through a room. The man she destroyed is gone, and the man who replaced him doesn't have the energy for hate. He only has room for the quiet. The last I heard, she was living in a small rented apartment somewhere out in the suburbs, alone. The end.